Hi, welcome to Through the Detours podcast by Wendy Lois. Thank you so much for being part of this tribe this far. I celebrate you as much as you celebrate me. We celebrate each other. If this is your first time here, karibu sana. This is a space where we give energy that is positive through conversations that are real, raw, rough, triggering. And that is the energy and the love that we are spreading out. We're just trying to make life a lot lighter by having these conversations, because life is full of beautiful things that sometimes we oversee by the difficulties that we face. And today I want to share something that has pulled me and pushed me through life for a very long time, especially in this adulting that comes with no manual. Many times, we need to move by faith and not by sight. On my social media platforms, which by the way, you should be following me, my individual all social media platform handles are Wendy Lois, and also we have TTD podcast on social media. I am a queen of manifestation. I think 90% of the reality I live in right now was powerfully manifested some time back. And it takes time, but graciously and patiently waiting through it, we have seen them come to pass. And when I say we, I say myself, my tribe, and the people around me, who all are my tribe. So, do you know of something called dead on arrival? We have had dreams which have died even before they took off. And this is because we didn't have enough faith to see the journey to fruition. It's because we didn't have enough faith to believe and to push through the days that are dark or were dark. So, even the formation of this podcast, I'm looking at a gentleman who I called one night and I said, I have dreamt about starting this. And I told him, because I've gone through this and life has happened to me like this, and I just feel like I need to share. I have always wanted to do this. And he told me, let's do it. Let's do it. And of course, the first thing was, I'm not so sure. I don't know if I have the financial capacity for it. I'm not very sure if I'll have gotten seats in my house just to have a setup to do it. And this guy encouraged me and he was like, let's start from what we have, moving towards what we don't have. And in a span of a month, this liberating project came to fruition. And that is how I am here today talking to you. So I am not talking theoretically. It has been very practical for me. And so we started and we did the logistics and we're like, if you do this and you can do more episodes and you do that, this can be done. And it took faith. And then I called the lady behind my face beat and I was like, this is my dream, and I pitched. And she was like, fine, let's do it. And it took faith for this team to come up and have this done. We still don't even have the whole picture of how we will make it to international fronts, but we have the faith that that dream will come to fruition. We have the faith that we will manifest bigger and greater heights. So that mantra gives me sleep at night. That Wendy, you need the faith to start with whatever it is that you have. You start right there. In my different quarters of acquaintances, I have people who desire to go back to school. But of course, when you get the fee structure, you're like, oh my God, will I ever get to see this paper done? The truth is, you need the faith to take the first step. And that is all that needs to be done. That is all that should take away from you the faith of a mustard seed. You start where you are. And I've seen it happening, Very many of us, we have so many dreams and capabilities inside of us that die off because we get so pressurized by the notion that you need to have it all figured out for you to be able to do it. But the truth is, if you wait to have your life figured out, then you wait until you die. There you go. I said it. I said it. Let me say it again. If you will wait until the day you will have the whole of your life or the whole of that plan figured out for you to start, then you will wait until you meet your deathbed, yeah? And all it takes sometimes is to live through that dream in your head. I am one person who, I think most often than not, I get what I set my mind to. And that's because if I have a desire in my heart, I start speaking it out, you know? I start looking around me and I'm like, oh, so who do I have that I can share this with? Of course, this has to be a support system that you can really count on, because then people spoil beautiful things, you know? And out of that, out of talking it out of having conversations around what you have, you start manifesting life towards the dreams and the ambitions and whatever it is that you have inside of you. And all this gathers up to something we call faith. You don't have to see 10 steps ahead. You only have to see one step in front of you. And when you take it, then it will have a ripple effect on the rest of the steps. And if you've not watched my previous episode, kindly pause, please. My tribe mate, pause it, go and watch. Because we just talked of the diversity and the beauty of life, you know, and how if you're gracious enough with yourself, all this can come to fruition. So you need so much faith, so much belief, and trusting the process that you begin where you are. And the thing about the universe is it pours right back to you. That's the truth. It pours right back to you. I can testify and say I have seen businesses which are now flourishing, being started, you know, from a very small space. And in fact, right now, I think we are very privileged by the power of social media and technology that we have, that we can do anything in these online spaces. I'm seeing people make a living and a career in our creative world through their phones, you know. So as I speak to you, I speak to myself, because for sure, let me tell you, the amount of procrastination that happened before the birth and execution of this podcast is embarrassing. Because I dreaded beginning, and I was just like, so what if I begin and I cannot sustain? What if I begin and I don't know what to do, you know? But the faith that helped me start it off, I just had to say, you know, we are done with procrastination. And for me, procrastination has made me lose on so many opportunities. And procrastination is just the fear of the unknown, you know, that makes you not attempt your tasks at the right time, you know, and this causes a delay and then a disorientation and then despair. And then before you know it, a dream that was to propel to greater heights and greater audiences just dies right out there. So I lived through that. So I know maybe you're there and you're like, oh, Wendy, you don't understand. You just don't understand my situation, my story. You don't understand my story. I hear you. I see you. But what I'm telling you is you can start it off, and all you need is the faith and the belief that it's gonna work out. Am I telling you it's gonna be easy? Of course not. Am I telling you there will not be challenges? Oh, definitely not. This is life. But what am I telling you? I am telling you to begin where you are with that faith that you have. And let me tell you, it is almost guaranteed. Don't come for my neck if it doesn't happen, because because this is life. And of course, sometimes whatever it is that we thought would work out doesn't really work out the way you intended for it to. But all the same, it doesn't mean that it will not work out 100%. Maybe, just maybe, it's gonna take a different turn from what we thought it would be. But the faith that had you start is the faith that will have you continuing. And the beauty of the faith I'm talking about is once you begin, once you start, there's a sense of responsibility that comes with it, that you know what, we're already here. Okay, so what? We are not failing. We are not giving up. Nope. And especially if you are joining this tribe, we don't give up around here. We get battered, we get beaten, we fall, but we rise and we keep pushing. And what keeps us pushing, what keeps us alive, is that faith that we are talking about. So I could maybe not understand your story. I could not maybe even imagine the agony that you're going through. But whatever it is, sis, whatever it is, Kinuthia, whatever it is, Marianne, you start it off. Have the faith. If you're looking at moving out of home, if you're looking at leaving that toxic relationship, I've been there, done that. You feel scared. And this is all fear of the unknown. But the faith, if you keep cultivating it, it grows into a tree full of life. It grows into a tree full of opportunities. And then one day you just sit and look back and you're like, wow. So what was all this that I was fearing, you know? So you don't have to have it all figured out. No, you absolutely do not need to have it all figured out at the beginning. But you put in the work, then baby steps. Take the faith, take that leap of faith. You do it, take the risks. Who knows? When you fail, you learn. When you achieve it, it's gonna be successful, you know? And the thing is, I would like this to be part of our DNA. I would like for this to be part of who we are, part of the core of our existence, that I don't know, you know, I am a very prayerful person, and sometimes I tell God, I don't know how, I don't know when, and I don't know where, but I know my God will work it out. And sometimes that is all that you need, the faith that He will work it out. And I'm not saying have faith and be lazy. No. So don't come for my neck only because you manifested. You manifested and stayed asleep the whole time. No, that will definitely not work. But you just have to put the measures in place and have the faith. So you dream it, you speak life to it, you manifest it, and then we can have a roundtable discussion. If that doesn't happen, if that doesn't work out, if that doesn't give you experience to grow, come we have a conversation. But I'm telling you, that little faith that you have, start speaking it out. Imagine sometimes that's all that it takes. And I share quite a lot even on my Instagram, and there are things that I do, and I call them risks. You know, as risk takers, we have different risk-taking capacities and measures. But I have seen risks that I've taken with the little faith that I have, and it literally turns out to be very beautiful. Your finger can be burnt here and there, which is all right. It's okay. It's still all part of the process. But when you come to this other side and you have seen it all work out, it's beautiful. So you go, you start that business, you move out of home, you go back to school, you start that podcast, you know, there's enough room for all of us to thrive. It's not a competition anymore. It's a complementation. We complement each other. We have so much we can learn from you. We have so much growth that can happen in all of us, you know, and the diversity in life. Oh my God, there's only one you, and the power that you possess is out. It's mind blowing, you know. Thank you so much for listening to this, and for all that it counts, please take your notebook. If you are a person who journals, write it down. Have the faith, manifest it to life. Then let's have a conversation when you meet me outside there. Thank you so much. The only way you can help my faith to come to life is by clicking that plus button on the podcast channel. Okay, yes, I'm looking at you. Yes. You can help my faith come to life by subscribing and growing this platform together and growing this channel. And let's do beautiful things outside here. So I'm leaving you with this. In your situation, all you need to have right now is the faith. And take the step. Be bold enough. Fight for your position. Thank you so much for listening in today. I will see you on the next episode. Kwaheri.